His name was Johnny. When Johnny was 2, he was a ball of energy. Energy radiated from all of his being, his body and his mind. One day, Johnny takes one of his Legos and starts banging on the coffee table, letting out a cry of happiness. Excited about his new moves, Johnny looks around for a sign of approval. His mom appears. She hurries over to him, afraid that he might break the vase on the table. She snatches the block out of Johnny's hand and says, "Can't I leave you alone for a moment and you don't start breaking things?" Johnny stares at his mom's face, analyzing it. He finds anger, disappointment, and no love. He takes a mental note right away. Banging Legos on the table equals no love. And from that day on, he never banged any Legos on any table anymore. When Johnny got older, his younger brother became his responsibility. He had to be the one who was nice to him. One day, Johnny's younger brother pushes him and he falls into the mud. The brother laughs out loud and goes back to play with his toys. Furiously, Johnny wipes away his tears. He takes a large rock from the garden and marches toward the brother. His blood boils with hatred and revenge. He stops right behind the little boy who is preoccupied with his own fantasy games. Johnny's cold hands presses the rock. He closes his eyes and lets out a wrathful cry. He doesn't know what to do with his anger. A hand clenches his arm. He opens his eyes. It is his mom's face, filled with anger, disappointment, and no love. She shouts at him, "Are you a monster that you want to hurt your brother?" The rock falls from his hand and he runs to his room out of shame of being a monster. Another mental note is taken right away. Harming others is monstrous, and I am not a monster. From a very young age, Johnny started to carry an invisible bag behind him. He would put every should or should nots from his parents into that bag. Be nice to people, even if you hate them. And his sincerity went in the bag. Love and protect your brother. And his anger and hatred for the one who stole his mom's love from him went into that bag. Boys don't cry, and he hid his tears in the bag. He would do anything to have his parents' love and approval. In high school, it wasn't adults who filled his invisible bag, but Johnny himself. He felt the need to fit in, so he hid his love for drawing in order to be accepted by the cool sports group. Before turning 20, his invisible bag stretched as long as the whole Americas. Only faint traces of that energetic child remained. His bag not only held his anger and hatred and violence, but his most precious parts, his wildness, impulsiveness, creativity, sensitivity, and freedom to speak his mind. It took Johnny decades to find the courage to unseal his invisible bag. It was when his bag was so heavy that he couldn't carry it anymore. He had barely any energy left to move on. He had a very limited time in his life. Doctors told him chronic stress was the reason for his fatal disease. He was uncertain about where to look or what to do with his life. He didn't even know what he truly wanted. However, all the answers he needed lay within the bag he had carried throughout his life. He simply needed to look inside.